Kristin here with Healing Home Coaching. We are in day 5 of the Connection Challenge, and we are talking about how to have a peaceful good night, let the sweet dreams roll. So, the nighttime routine can be very stressful for your kids, and I'm sure even for you. We're at the end of our day, we've met our quota of happiness and emotions, and we are just done for the day. Our kids are just the same way. So, how can you transition them from rub a dub dub, someone's in the tub, to a peaceful good night? I, for one, am an oil family. We've already talked about that many times, but I will tell you there is a huge difference for when we put ourselves and my daughter to sleep at night when we have the diffuser running and when we don't. We are a fan favorite of the Restful Sleeping Blend, or the Restful Blend, I should say, by Doterra. Cedar wood, because did you know that cedar wood will actually support your body in making natural melatonin? It's true. I read it on the internet, and some other people told me that I trust. So cedar wood is a great way to support your body to make natural melatonin. Now, I'm not going to get into the synthetic ways of knocking your kid out from Benadryl to melatonin and everything else in between, but I would like to give you some tips and tricks on how to make a more peaceful good night. So, the diffuser, 10 to 20 minutes before you're ready to put your bundle of joy to bed, whether they're 1 or 15, crank up that diffuser, girl, because you have a friend in the diffuser. Having a healthy time of low lighting, calming music, snuggle time, reading a couple of books, or just kind of hanging out, vegging after the evening routine of bath and homework and dinner and all that stuff has happened. Transition into that nighttime routine of being very zen, very calm. And a lot of these things are pretty typical things that kids use to wind down from the day. We use to wind down for the day as well. I will tell you that screen time within an hour or two of bedtime is not your friend, girl, not your friend at all. So, screen time after dinner time, not your friend. So, try to limit that. If your kids are going to have screen time, give it to them as a positive consequence before dinner, before we're transitioning into the evening routine. And don't go there, girl. You know it's going to be a nightmare. Screen time equals a nightmare bedtime routine. Don't do it. Another thing you can do is rocking. Now, with vestibular and proprioceptive inputs for my sensory families, when you're rocking back and forth, or you're jumping up and down, or you're rocking or snuggling or tickling or whatever, your body is getting sensory input that says either I'm soothed or I need to rev myself up. So if your child responds to rocking or joint compressions, so your, elbows, knees, hips, if you're compressing them, and that's another video that we'll talk about, but joint compressions, brushing techniques, putting them in a little bit tighter PJs if they're needing that sensory input to calm themselves. For my ADD and ADHD families, there are families that actually give their kid a cup of coffee, but they're not on meds. And so their brain actually uses that stimuli of the caffeine to calm itself. So if that's something that your kid needs, don't be ashamed. Give them a cup of coffee. It's 8 o'clock at night. They need to go to bed. Another thing that you need to consider, especially with the smaller children, is how they get in bed, whose bed they're in, and how does that process work for being peaceful and connected. For me, my 1-year-old doesn't like to sleep. She doesn't like to be by herself. Separation anxiety is at an all-time high, and mommy just needs a break once in a while. So after about 4 months, 1, 2, 3, 4 months of co-sleeping, me standing like this in bed as if I'm like a mummy, because my child is literally right next to me because she refuses to sleep in her crib. She's up 6 and 7, 8, 9 times a night. True story. I was like, something's got to give. I am not a fan of crying it out. I'm not a fan of letting them cry for several minutes and then going in there and soothing them. I am a fan of peaceful transitions, connective parenting, and good sleep. Sleep is my friend. Sleep should be your friend too. But if your kids aren't co-sleeping, which another soapbox for another day, but if they're not co-sleeping and they're having a hard time being in their own area, night lights, weighted blankets, how cool it is in the room. Does your kid need monster spray? Pinterest is great for monster spray. Typically, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You put some distilled water in it and let your kid go to town. It's doing a couple of things. It's scaring the monsters away. The boogeymans don't come back. And you're kind of like getting them to go into a sleep mist anyway, because if you are using, say, lavender or cedar wood or the restful blend, you're actually coating the air and their mattress or whatever with essential oils that is going to give them a zen balancing calming effect typically. So crying it out, sleep training, all of those nighttime somewhat non-connective to the point of screaming and gnashing of teeth methods is kind of hard to be connected with. So we had to do a combination of just trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. It took about 2 weeks. My child is now pretty much sleeping through the night. Remember, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a night she would be up. She was completely unconsolable, very distraught at different times. Night terrors was something we even talked about, but I didn't feel it was night terrors at that point. Now it takes her some time to get to sleep, but once she's asleep, she's not waking up. And that was a lot of trial and error. Let's try this tonight. Let's try this tomorrow night. Oh, this worked today. This didn't work the next day. So just really think about what your kids needs. Make it something that's manageable. Meet their needs. If they need you to snuggle with them for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, meet that need. These moments are short and fleeting. Your days are long and hard, but the years will pass by in a moment. So sleep training in itself can be stressful. Know your own triggers. If screaming children, gnashing of teeth, begging and pleading are triggers for you, lube yourself up, say a prayer, be zen, do your own grounding work, and listen to your kids. Sleep training and getting them to bed can be a very peaceful situation. Another quick tip that you can do also in your night routine is massage. We mentioned brushing, joint compressions, and even consider doing some EFT tapping along the way. Another video and another subject for another time. But between massage, joint compressions, brushing, tapping, a whole lot of prayer, a whole lot of rocking, and a whole lot of understanding, I now have a sleeping 1-year-old. I wish you best of luck. I've enjoyed my time with you. Click or comment below what your technique is for the evening. Hit us up on healinghomelifecoaching.com, and I'll see you on the trails. Take care.